It's DJ and PK. It's 97.5 The Zone. Big 12 Media Day, day 2 in Las Vegas, where it cooled down from 120 degrees all the way to 88. And now it's headed back up. But fortunately, PK has now made his way inside Allegiant Stadium. The AC's on. You feeling good? You got Jake there to give you water in case you, start to get lightheaded?
I'll keep him hydrated, DJ. Don't worry.
That kid, Jake.
I'm working on it.
They have this special water, core hydration, and that's all they have. It's perfectly balanced pH star, purified water. And so that's the big water that they've got. It has electrolytes and minerals for taste.
Well, hopefully they're paying the Big 12 for whatever that was you just gave.
0 calories, but what they don't have is diet soda. I had regular 7-Up for the first time in probably 40 years.
How'd it go?
It tasted great when I was a kid. I loved 7-Up. When you didn't have to worry about calories and all, and you were actually trying to gain weight.
Hit me with the sugar.
Yeah. Oh, when I was 17 years old, all I had to worry about was zits.
That's it?
Yeah.
One worry in the world.
Yeah, 140 pounds. that was.
Have a 7-Up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I used to have them by living in the desert. Yeah, I used to have them by the 6-pack. Now, when I turned 18, that was another story, but we won't go there. They got good food here. They got a nice setup inside the stadium. We set the scene yesterday, and they can be more organized. But as I told you guys earlier, I had conversations with multiple athletic directors from the Pac-12, and that are now in the Big 12, and they will get this thing done. It'll get better next year. I'm very optimistic next year that it'll be more like the Pac-12 because the sports information people and the administrators, they will tell them, hey, we got to do this. And plus, all I got to do is tell Mark Harlan, hey, can you see if they can get the doors open and we can get guests earlier because we're on the air live, and we got a couple stations down here doing all that stuff, and they're going to do it. I have no doubt about it. They're going to do it. So it's good to be here for day 2. BYU and all the teams that we didn't have yesterday will be here today. Those other guys, I thought maybe they would stay. The Pac-12, when they did the two-day thing, they would both be here both days. But no, that's not the case. The teams that were here yesterday all chartered out and went home, and now it'll just be the other half of the conference will be here.
Well, the quote that's getting everybody's attention here is from Cam Rising.
Yeah.
Asked about playing BYU this season, and for the 2 people who haven't heard it already, most of you heard it 50 times, y'all can play it one more time.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to go down there and whoop their ass pretty much. That's all I'm focused on.
Now, the reaction has been posted to Facebook, and the reaction, Alan, down there, question mark, down referring to South, Provo being the school to the south. Jason, The game is in Salt Lake City.
No, see, you guys don't understand, though, my good friends. Cam is a millionaire a couple of times over. He lives high on the hill on the east side.
Above the stadium, huh?
Down there.
I've got to go down to Rice Eccles Stadium because I live up above the Huntsmans.
Yeah, and he probably has a place in Deer Valley, so that's what
everything's down from there.
Yeah, so you got to put it into context what he was referencing. I saw that, and I went, wait a second, it's in Rice Eccles this year, and so it's actually from the football facility. It's a tad over there, maybe up a little bit.
Absolutely. I just want to go down there and whoop their ass pretty much. That's all I'm focused on.
No,
Jason says, you got to give him slack. It's hard to remember details like where the game is at his advanced age.
He is 25. He's going to be one of the older ones here.
This is like his 16th college football season. Do you think he cares about the schedule? Do you think he even knows who's on the schedule?
Well, I'm just hoping he doesn't show up in Provo. Hey, where is everybody?
What's going on? I'm here to warm up.
Our good friend Monson showed up for a Don Henley concert, and he had the wrong night at the Maverick Center. And he drives up there. He's thinking, man,
there's no traffic.
A late arriving crowd. They got right there in the first spot of parking. It's the wrong night.
Must be free tonight. No, didn't have to pay for the parking.
Or you could do like I did. I was in Los Angeles a couple media days ago and bought tickets to see Lyle Lovett and Emmylou Harris at the Santa Barbara Bowl. Only my wife shows up. It was the week before. Oops.
Whoops.
So
stuff happens.
I mean, Cam can get away with saying that. And the funny thing is that, he's never played against them. Because they blew. Who's the guy? Was it
3
Brewer
years
last time?
3 years in his career, they didn't play. Last year, obviously,
Yeah, they didn't.
They didn't play, and he was hurt. So there's been stuff going on.
Yeah, and it was the last time they beat him. It was Brewer, which
because he wasn't starting yet, so he stood and watched that game.
Yeah. And so this is the most unique situation of any quarterback that we've ever had, even more so than Taysom Hill. I think that because, all the drama, the soap opera nature of it last year, on Thursdays, Uno Doctor, and how crazy that was. So
Kyle's into revisionist history, though. I heard that quote, the quote yesterday. He's like, in retrospect, we did the right thing. Just move on.
Well, now they did.
Right.
I think they did preserving his year because, they got a real shot to go to the playoff, obviously. They basically, the way I look at it, they've got to win one game. Because I think they're going to qualify. They're going to win the other enough games to finish first or second, and then you go down to Dallas that first weekend in December, and away you go. They win that ball game. They're definitely in. They may be in either way. See what happens. Depending.
That's
on
what
the
I was
season.
wondering is if they can win enough games with the expanded format that they're in, whether they win that game or not.
Well,
Are they so far in that even if you get dropped, you stay inside the top 12 if you lose?
I talked to Mark Harlan about that. And Mark was very generous with his time for me yesterday. And, we're an old Sun Devil and Wildcat, and we got that thing. He's a total Ute now, obviously. But for whatever reason, DJ ran into somebody who hates me yesterday, but Mark likes me, and he'll be very generous with his time.
He doesn't hate you. He can't figure you out.
Well, that's the same thing.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It is not the same
To not
thing.
figure out me is to not love me.
Okay, play the victim.
Well, I talked to Mark on the air for like 15 minutes, and then before and after, and he thinks that he's speaking generally of the Big 12 getting multiple bids, and he said in some years they might even get 3, because he's on all that committee stuff. If you listen to the interview, and that's what he said, and if you haven't, I would advise you to do it. You can go back and get it where your podcasts are, and see he talked a little bit about that.
He did.
They feel confident as a league that they can get a couple, and he said in some years maybe 3. He said let they don't want to mess with it. They want to see how it goes as far as that is, and get an opportunity to go from there. As far as let's wait, they got a couple more years before they start making any decisions. They got 2 more years of this, so leading up to it, but don't be hasty about it. So we'll see. I think they've probably got a 75% chance to get in, and I think that's a high percentage.
Overall, 75%?
To get in the playoff, yeah.
Yeah, that's.
I don't know. I think that's too low or too high.
Tell me if Cam's healthy.
Right.
Well, obviously, but we're talking about today. I'm not talking about October. I'm talking about today.
That feels high to me because how many losses is that?
Well, 2.
That's hard. That's tough to only lose 2 games, right?
Yeah, but
they have a 75% chance to go 10-2
to be in the Dallas thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just saying it feels high.
I think so.
DJ?
Yeah.
If Cam is healthy, I know Cam is healthy,
but
I pick a number.
He knows he's healthy now.
No. But is he going to be healthy all year?
Yeah, but I can say that just about by every team. Why am I picking on Cam Rising?
Because we're talking about Utah's odds.
Right, but everybody has that same situation if any teams get decimated by injuries, forget it.
Yeah, but it's not decimated.
Yeah,
it's one guy who's been injured.
Right, but the other teams could get decimated.
Times.
I realize for the Utes, absolutely.
Right, but
yes.
I do think the Big 12 has enough depth that not everybody's getting decimated. This isn't a league that's hanging its hat on 1 or 2 teams.
At the top, foremost.
Kyle says 8 or 9.
8 or 9 what?
That 8 or 9 teams could win the league.
Well, of course. He wants to reduce the pressure. This guy has made a literal bonanza of a living off of being the underdog.
Yep.
So why change? The last time Kyle changed anything, I think, was 1978. Right? So you want him to come back here, and they did these breakout interviews, and they got these little stages, and what did you expect them to put his hands interlocked behind his head and lean back. I got this, boys. What do you got?
First off, that would be awesome, and I'm totally in favor of that happening. I was sold before you even said the quote. Just putting his hands behind his head and leaning back.
Yeah.
That'd be fine. He could be answering a scheduling question, and that'd be fine.
Right, but that's not.
I
who
thought
he's
he
gonna
could
be.
say 5 or 6, and that would still be generous. 8 or 9. I mean,
That's
it's still
way too generous. That means you have to have 2 or 3, maybe even 4 surprise teams. But I get why he would say that. Build up the league. This is your league now. I don't think it's going to be your league in perpetuity, although I think it will be Kyle's league. I don't think he'll coach in another league. I think that's rather obvious. His deal on the whole thing on the Vegas game against Miami. I'm probably not going to be here. And then I was sitting next to Hans and Scotty yesterday doing some stuff on my computer when they were interviewing him. Well, what are you going to be doing? I'm going to be golfing with PK in Florida.
Yeah.
So probably, yeah. I mean, he's openly, we've talked about this 1,000 times over. This guy's pretty transparent. He just hasn't set a date. I believe it'll be after this year or next year. And I've been saying that for 2 or 3 years. So
That's going to be right at some point.
But don't leave when you have a good team.
Right. Why leave now?
Yeah,
right.
right.
He's 64 years
PK
old,
just
but
gave
he's a
a
healthy
70
64 year.
75% chance to make the playoff. You can't leave on that year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I stand by that. I'm freaking. You guys handle the segment, man. I'm going across the street to get my drift. I'm in Vegas.
To the Fairfield?
Okay, don't ruin the moment here.
He's going, Jake. He's going
Across the freeway. Is that better?
Yeah, it's better.
Jake. He's going to get a cookie. Okay.
They don't have them yet. Wait for lunch. I got to get there early. Yesterday I got there a little late.
That's not what we're talking about, PK. We're talking about the legendary
you're
cookie.
You guys. Well, you guys think drugs. I don't.
Which is why you were there getting a cookie.
I'm a
didn't occur
naive
to you.
Utah. Jake Scott's always getting on my butt for not being a Utah. I was a naive Utah. I
There
went
it
for
is.
a cookie. I didn't understand why you had to show ID and go through a metal detector.
Didn't sink in.
They've really upgraded security here at Mrs. Fields. What's going on?
All right.
I had no clue until when I saw them break out the wand. I thought, what is going on here, man?
What is the schedule for today? When does BYU show up? When does Kalani hit the stage? When do the
Let's see.
players wander through the media area?
Looks around 1 o'clock if they go by the schedule.
1 o'clock Pacific or 1 Mountain?
1 Mountain.
1 o'clock Mountain Time. All right. Want people locked down on that? There'll be Big 12 folks all day long. Who are the 6 teams today?
Let's see here. It will be Kansas, West Virginia, BYU, UCF, Baylor, and Houston.
There you go. All righty. Kansas coming up first, and that's intriguing because they are picked near the top of the league. They got some votes for first place. There's a decent chance that they could end up being in the conference
That's
title
a
game.
team that needs the health of the quarterback.
For sure. All right,
They're
DJ
right there with the
PK.
Utes.
More from the Big 12 Media Days in Las Vegas next. Stay with us.